Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up in this episode, we have 3 NRL games from the final round of the regular season, and Hull FC start their restructure for 2023. And that's where we start the 3 NRL games, with New Zealand Warriors facing the Gold Coast Titans. And Saturday night we'll see the Warriors and Titans close the book on a forgettable 2022 campaign, which sees them approach the final round of the regular season in 14th and 15th place respectively. The Gold Coast have avoided any chance of claiming the wooden spoon with victory over the Knights last week, and could still finish as high as 12th if they can get a win in round 25. After back-to-back weeks where they were given more than 40 points away, the Warriors will be just hoping to put a respectable performance for their home fans. The Titans were 2 points winners when they met earlier in round 2, while these two sides met in round 25 last year as well. The Gold Coast ran away with it at 44 points to nil. So let's get on to the final teams of the season for these two teams. First of all, Stacey Jones Warriors, which includes players such as Reece Walsh and Ewan Aitken, who are going to be leaving the club at the end of the season. Elias Katoa will start and Bunty Afoot will go to the bench in a game day swap after several changes during the week. Halfback Sean Johnson has been ruled out of suffering a calf strain against the Panthers. Dejan Arce is the new man in the halves in his place. Ewan Aitken, Jesse Arthurs, Wade Egan all return to the side, but Marcelo Montoya and Rocco Berry are ruled out. Edward Cozy moves from the extended bench to take Montoya's place on the left wing, and Viliame Valea has been brought back into the starting side at the centre position. For the Titans, Sam McIntyre drops out an hour before kickoff due to an arm injury, replaced in the starting side by Jared Wallace. Centre Philip Sammy returns for the trip to Auckland after missing round 24 due to a head knock. He takes the place from Brian Kelly, who was suspended for a dangerous tackle. It was an absolute epic of a game that saw the Gold Coast Titans come out with the victory in Golden Point extra time. The Warriors led the way in the first half as Jesse Arthurs went over on the 4th minute before Josh Curran scored the first of his double in the first half. Dallin Watanabe's Lesniak scored a spectacular try in the corner off a scrum play before AJ Brimson got over the line using the momentum to roll over. Then Josh Curran was the fastest to react to ground the ball off a grubber in the in-goal area on the 35th minute, and a half-time lead of 20 points to 6 was for the Warriors. The second half, though, saw the Titans come back. After both Vermeer scored on the 44th minute, Viliame Valea scored the best try of the game. A great individual effort off another scrum play. His right foot step taking out 2 Gold Coast Titans when they ran into each other. We got to the 73rd minute and they were still behind the Titans, and Jaden Campbell went over on the 73rd minute, before former Warrior Paul Turner scored on the 75th minute to give a 2-point lead to the Warriors. But a headshot called a penalty in the favour of the Titans, which Tane Boyd kicked over in the 79th minute. There were some good efforts for the Warriors, but when the Titans put up some space in the attack, they were left for dead for the Titans. 3 minutes into the first period of Golden Point, Tane Boyd nailed a drop goal on the 83rd minute to seal the win for the Titans. The next game of the day saw the St George Illawarra Dragons take on the Brisbane Broncos, and the Broncos' final dreams appear to have gone up in smoke with their big losses to the Storm and the Eels, but a win over the Dragons at least keeps them in the frame for another 24 hours. If Kevin Walters' men can beat the Dragons on Saturday, they go to 30 competition points to clear of Canberra Raiders, who play the West Tigers on Sunday in the final game of the regular season. If the Broncos and the Raiders both win by then 8th spot will be decided on points differential, which at this stage still sits in Canberra's favour by 43 points. The Broncos have beat the Dragons at 32 points to 18 at Suncorp Stadium in round 17, so they can take some confidence out of that as they look to mount one last challenge to be a part of the finals action after dropping out of the running come the latter end of the season. Anyway, let's get into the teams. For the Dragons, we see veteran and hooker Andrew McCulloch getting a late call-up an hour before kick-off after recovering from a knee injury. Jaden Sullivan drops to the bench with Terrell Thuimano going to the 18th man. There were no late changes on game day for Kevin Walters' men, as skipper Adam Reynolds will play despite suffering a head knock against the Eels. Tom Fledgler and Selwyn Cobbo are both good to go. Reece Kennedy was a midweek inclusion on the bench, with the forward taking the place of Corey Jensen. Back rower Jordan Ricky has also dropped out, replaced in the starting side by Zach Hostingins even, with Brendan Payakora promoted to the interchange bench. It was a day for the Dragons as they went in 22 points to 12 victors over the Broncos, burning the Broncos any hopes of getting to the playoffs. No matter what happens now, the Raiders are in the playoffs, so the Broncos will have to fight next year for more progression. Anyway, for the game itself, this game opened up the scoring on the 5th minute after Jack Bird took 3 Broncos players over the line to score the opening try. Deloise Hoyter scored on the 24th minute in response for the Broncos, before Matt Fagier got on the end of a flowing move from the Dragons, which was started from a Ben Hunt 40-20. At half-time, it was 10 points to 6 in favour of the Dragons, and Cody Ramsey extended that lead with a try on the 44th minute. Billy Walters went through lacklustre Dragons defence as he went from acting half-back 5 metres out, before Matthew Fagier scored another try. This time he used his brute strength from about 45 metres out to get past 3 players, then used his speed to duck through 3 more, before taking over another couple over the line to score left of the posts. Zach Lomax kicked 3 goals while Adam Reynolds scored 2 conversions. But the Dragons were helped with a couple of sin binnings. First of all, Tom Fledgler on the 8th minute, he was cited for a shoulder charge, which, even though he caught one in the jaw himself, when you look at it from behind him, his arm is dropped by his side, his right arm, fist clenched, and he's gone in on the man. No attempt to wrap the man with his right arm. Katona Staggs was sin-binned on the 76th minute. But that's all that we can say about the game, as the Dragons went the way of the victor. And now turn our attention to Hull FC, as they've announced 4 more players will leave the club, as well as those that have departed recently on different contracts, on also releases. Plus also then acknowledgement for their 3 loan players that they had that won't be coming back to the club at this stage. The quartet will join Manu Matu in departing the club, who was announced by Catalan Dragons for the 2023 campaign in July that he will be joining them. Will Smith will be returning to Australia after joining in the club on a short-term deal, while Josh Bowden and Josh Reynolds left the club earlier in the season on loan or released. But now 4 more have been announced. First of all, the big name on the list Luke Gale, who leaves the club after 1 season with the club. The England international made the move to the MKM Stadium on a 1-year deal from Leeds during the off-season, and has gone on to play 18 times for the club during this 1-year spell at the Black and Whites. A halfback of some pedigree, the 34-year-old has won the Man of Steel in the past and has played 266 Super League games, scoring 644 goals. He also scored 69 Super League tries in his career. So moving on to pastures new might not be as difficult to someone of his talent to find another Super League club, but he has been seen in Sky Sports and other punditry roles during the season, so that could be a transition for him too. Hooker Jordan Johnson will be also on the move away from Hull, as he has been announced to be released from the club, and the 25-year-old Hooker has played 55 times for the Black and Whites since moving from Widnes Vikings in 2019 as a fresh-faced 22-year-old. But he will also need to find pastures new coming into the 2023 season. After the news of his release, Jordan Johnson posted this on his Twitter account: "Grateful for the opportunity to represent the club. Been a lot of ups and downs along the way, especially the past 2 seasons. But what's better way to go out than in the old derby at home? See you all tomorrow. #where to next?" 2 other releases announced by Hull FC are including Aidan Burrell on the left, who is a young prop, 19 years old, and has made 1 appearance for the club, and Marcus Walker, who is a halfback, and he has made 2 appearances for the club, and the 20-year-old leaves also. On their official website, the Black and Whites would like to thank all the players for the service to the club and wish them and their families the best for their future endeavours. Supporters will have the chance to show appreciation for the departing players after tomorrow's match against Hull KR, with a short presentation to take place after the whole full-time hooter. The club will also like to place on records a thanks to Josh Bowden, Josh Reynolds, who left the club earlier this year, as well as thanking loan signings Jack Walker, Ellis Longstaff and Josh Sims for their contribution this season. So in our final segment of today's episode, we see the final NRL game of Saturday as North Queensland Cowboys face Penrith Panthers. And there's a lot at stake for this game, as first of all, if they win, the Cowboys, then there is a shot, after going into equal second place with Cronulla Sharks, of the Cowboys getting a home tie in the playoffs going into week 1. Then they would have to hope for a underdog win, an upset win, by the Knights over Cronulla on Sunday. With the minor premiership in their keeping, Ivan Cleary will no doubt take the opportunity to rest some stars. Just how many are set to be given a breather will be revealed soon as we look at the teams that are named. And as we expect, the Panthers have named no less than 11 changes. Coach Ivan Cleary has chosen to rest Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Stephen Crichton, Isaac Togo, Taylor May, Jerome Luai, Moses Leota, James Fisher-Harris, Vilami Kickout and Isaiah Yeo, while Api Coruscant and Spencer Leniu are both out. Scott Sorensen is back to start from a calf injury in the second row, while regular bench player Matt Eisenhuth and Mitch Kenny move into the starting side. Charlie Staines gets another run at fullback, with Sonny Taruva going to the wing, while Thomas Jenkins makes his NRL debut at centre, as do Liam Henry, Jack Goal, who sits on the bench. Maverick Gaya is the 18th man, for the Cowboys. A big starting call for the Cowboys with the playmaker Tom Dearden called into the starting side an hour before kickoff as he returned from surgery from a ruptured testicle. His inclusion sees Hammy So Tabuai-Fidel drop back to the bench and Jake Granville to the 18th man. Forward Cohen Hess will miss the game due to a suspension, so Ruben Cotter joins the starting side, with Griffin Neem coming to the bench. And it was the Cowboys who rounded up the Panthers 38 points to 8. But the much changed Panthers have got more to come in the playoffs. The Cowboys have Murray Tulagi to thank for their first try of the game as he scored on the 17th minute before Valentine Holmes went over, which was quickly followed by a Scott Drinkwater try. Valentine Holmes completed a hat-trick over the two halves with another try just before half-time on the 31st minute and then one on the 54th minute. It was 20 points to 0 at half-time to the Cowboys. Robert Jenkins just after half-time scored for the Panthers on the 44th minute, and a second try from Sunia Turuva was scored on the 62nd minute. The Hammer scored on the 65th minute before Reece Robson scored on the 68th minute to close out the try-scoring efforts. Valentine Holmes kicked 3 goals and Chad Thompson kicked 2 goals from their 7 efforts. The only blot on the pitch was that Tom Jenkins was sent to the sin bin on the 59th minute. But the Cowboys won out in the end, 38 points to 8. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode in the comment section below. There's a lot to go through, but hey ho, you guys are the ones that lead this channel. Anyway, please tell me what your thoughts are, Hull FC fans, on the players departing. Is it the right time to do a restructure, or is it a little too soon to pull the pin on players like Luke Gale? Then the 3 NRL matches. Which of the results surprised you, or which were expected? Penrith's result? Probably about right, because of the changes. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.